So over the break, I know it hasn't been a lot of TV stuff, but I started watching 90 Day Fiancé, The Single Life, and we got to get into some things because there's some healing that needs to happen before these people really start dating. So let's get into it, y'all. If you're new around here, go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe, join the family, okay? So first of all, I have watched the Chantel family, show for quite some time, and now it's time for her to be on her own journey. Now, if you don't know about Chantel, breathe, because where do we start? I don't even have time in this video to go over the whole history, but she's finally here. She has arrived. And so the show picks up with her and her friends going overseas, going to Greece, and trying to get her groove back, okay? Now, there's some questionable things happening here because she's only been divorced 6 months. She was with Pedro for 10 years. And you have to think back, she's only 32, so that means she married him when she was, 22? She probably started dating him when she was 19 or 20. Her whole adult life so far has been as a married woman. I think a lot of people can relate to being in a marriage your whole entire adult life, and now in your 30s, late 30s, you have gotten to a point where unfortunately you are now divorcing. You never thought you were gonna get a divorce, but here you are. And so we see her with her friends, very excited, but we start to see that mask disappear. And when it really comes time for her to really get to know and start dating someone, she really wasn't ready, okay? You can't go from being in a marriage relationship, even though it's not a marriage, a relationship for 12 plus years, your whole adult lifehood. For some people, that's not even adult lifehood. It's more, let's just stick to the 12 years, okay? And then 6 months later, start dating. It's not gonna work because mentally, you're still in that marriage. Whether you checked out before the marriage ended, you're still healing. A lot of who you are probably is still involved in that relationship. And now you are at a point where you're having to rediscover who you are, start a brand new life. And I want to see her happy. I want to see her dating. I want to see Chantel just be Chantel outside of her family drama, outside of her overbearing mother, who in some ways was right the whole time, depending on how you look at it, and outside of her marriage. I also was wondering, where were all these friends during the show? I don't think I saw her involved too much with her friendships. It was more about her family. So it's good to see her, but you have to heal from that relationship. You have to heal from the marriage. And once again, I feel like it's a setup because why go overseas? Why go to Greece and be looking for a man? I know the dating pool sucks here in America, but I don't want to see her involved in the same situation where she falls in love with someone, builds a relationship with someone living in another country. Girl, you did that already. It didn't work out. It can work out with somebody new, but focus on you. Focus on that self-discovery, figuring out who Chantel is, okay? And now I know it's a check. You've been on reality TV for probably 15 years at this point. But I think there's gonna be a lot of tears, a lot of her doing things to try and figure out her life, which a lot of people once again can relate to, making some mistakes, getting back up, trying to figure herself out. But you have to heal from that relationship, whether it's a marriage, it was a romantic relationship without the, paperwork behind it. You have to heal and work on those things because you will bring that same stuff from your marriage that didn't work out into this new thing that you're trying to blossom into. You have to shed yourself of all of that stuff, your identity, all of that. It's kind of like a skin, a snake skin. You have to shed all that in order for you to be new, in order for you to grow. So let me know in the comments if you can relate. So we're going to move on to Tyray. Okay, so Tyray to me is a late bloomer. And we don't talk enough about late bloomers because we focus on a lot of people want their men to already be packaged, ready to go, but life doesn't really work out like that. So sometimes because of religious reasons, lifestyle, homeschool, your parents' beliefs, some people really didn't date until they were young, a lot older. Sometimes they didn't have that maybe role model relationships to them growing up. So we have someone who's a late bloomer. And there are a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum, depending on how you look at it, who are late bloomers because they just didn't date. And they find it hard to date because sometimes they don't have the social skills. They don't know how to date. It wasn't mirrored to them. And so Tyray, to me, unfortunately, he was catfish, you know. And so now he's trying to get out there. It seems like he does have that outgoing spirit at times, like he said, but when it comes to dating and approaching women, it's really a struggle for him because he needs to have that confidence. Okay, that's the thing. If you don't have the dating experience, I think in some kind of other way you would need to make up for that. And I think that can be in your personality, that can be in other ways. But if you are missing one component, maybe make up for it in a different way, if that makes sense. And also, I always say this to my friends, people I know, the right woman, the right man will. Most women probably look at Tyray and think, oh, I would never date somebody like that. But the right woman will see past that he's a late bloomer, will see past some of the things that he needs to work on. And I'm not saying that a woman needs to come in and like mold him and do all those things, but the right person will want to grow with you, will want to help you. Okay, the right one will. And I think he just needs to find the right person. I think it would also help him to go into some therapy, of course. Go into some therapy and work on what he feels like or what it is that is stopping him from really tapping into being like more secure in himself. Is it his weight? Is it that he feels like people judge him? Is it the late bloomerness? All that stuff can be worked on in therapy. And when it came to him trying to date or ask out the one girl at the bar, it's so funny because they all knew what he was up to. So I really like him as a person. I really hope he does find love. But one person I really want to talk about was the Ukrainian girl. I can't remember her name at this point, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I'll probably have to add in later, but yeah, I can't remember her name. But okay, let me tell y'all right now. You cannot be searching for your identity in a relationship. Let me say that again. You cannot be searching for your identity in a partner, a place, a thing. And that's what she is doing. I think it's amazing that she was able to bring her mother over from the Ukraine, especially with everything going over there. But she's bringing her mother into a situation that's not stable. Okay, she is not stable herself. She reminds me of someone who has a lot of emotional dysregulation. She has some cluster B, access 2 traits, the way her emotions just go from here to up there. Okay, now we have to take responsibility and accountability for our actions, our decisions, the things we choose to do. Okay, now she chose to pack up her things and move to LA with a man who has not been showing her consistency, quality time, accountability. And then when she gets over there with Josh and he's not stepping up to the plate, he doesn't even pick her up from the airport, red flag. Okay, and then when she had to go buy a hotel room with her own money, it was like, oh, we done messed up real big now. I packed up my stuff. I sold my bucket. I, don't have a place to stay. And now my mother is with me. And then she gets upset when he is not giving her the things that he said he would. To me, so when it comes to Josh, I really feel like Josh played her. Okay. But at the same time, I do feel like Natalie has a lot of emotional instability. Okay, she reminds me once again of somebody who is trying to find herself in a relationship. Okay, a lot of people go into relationships thinking that they can find themselves. That is a key for me to knowing who I am. Okay, and for some people, you might want to self-reflect because I'm not sure if you really know who you are outside that relationship, outside of being in a relationship. Some people don't recognize their pattern. They go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship without taking a break, because some people are not comfortable with sitting with themselves, figuring out who they are. They just tend to jump from relationship, and that's what she's doing. And we see her go from Josh to in the previews going to try and be with her husband. She's just lost, trying to figure herself out, and I think she needs some guidance, of course some therapy. But the way she just like blows up at Josh, It's not good. Okay, and now is he right? No, I think he's playing her at the same time. But you have two people who he doesn't have time for her. Not his job doesn't give him a lot of time. I don't really know what he does. But then you have someone who's lost, hanging on to this relationship, thinking like, you're supposed to give me everything. No, this person only human. Can he really give himself what he needs versus pouring into you? So it's gonna be a mess with her. And now we have the last one that they showed. The older woman is a little bit kooky. I don't know, girl. I just don't know. Okay. Now, hopefully we're gonna see more of her, but right now, it's just like, it's kind of cringe to watch some of the scenes. But this is my recap of episode 1 of 90 Day Fiancé, the single life. We can get into it more. Make sure you do the things you like, you subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. We can get into it, and I will see you guys in the next video.